Welcome back. Today what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we can do with these images that we have put into our collage. So obviously you went around, I still got a couple more to put in, but obviously you go in and we made some unique selections around some of the images to make them look pretty cool, make them look interesting. One of the things I want to show you guys today is how to actually select an image and remove it completely from its background. So for instance, if you look at this picture of this baseball glove here, I'm going to show you guys how we can actually select that so that the glove is alone and that there's nothing else in there, right? So that we take that white square around it out. So just make sure you have that layer activated. Then if you go up to grab, right, you're going to go to the fourth tool down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You would grab your quick selection tool. And then if you click select subject, it should automatically do its best to try to capture just what you want. So if you look at it, it actually went right around that glove. So then just like last time, you would hit Control C to copy that and then Control V to paste it. And then I'm going to delete layer 10. And there we go. We have that glove on its own so that we are able to use that and put that in unique places. So let's say I wanted the sandals. I could obviously cut out that area around the sandals too. So that's one way you can do some cool selections, is that select subject. So the next thing that I want to show you guys is some unique things that we can do with these different images. So today, after you get all your images in, we're going to start playing around with how you can start changing the color of things, how you can start editing photos to make them look a little bit cooler, and do some simple manipulations. Okay, so for instance, let's say I wanted to make this picture of this baseball glove black and white. One thing I could do is I could go up to the top where it says image, go to adjustments, and then you could click black and white, and you'll see it changed that glove to be black and white. And I can obviously play around with some of these. You can even change the preset to make it darker. You could make it high contrast. You could make it high contrast with red. So some of these presets will allow you can add a red filter to it. Will let you do some of these different things to make it look a little bit cooler. So that's one way we can change an image. The other way that we can change an image is we can also apply what we call a threshold. So if we go to image, adjustments, and in here is where pretty much you can do anything you want. If I click invert, it's going to invert the colors, which makes it pretty cool. If I go to image, adjustments, and I go to threshold, what this is going to do is actually make the image just black and just white. And if I play with this, I can make it look kind of like rustic, sketchy looking, kind of cool. So that's what threshold does, and that's something we're going to use in our next project. I could also go to image, adjustments. I could go to what we call hue and saturation, which is going to change. Hue is the color of something. So I could change the hue. See how it's turning more bluish. Now it's going to turn more green, purple, and so forth. So I can really adjust colors that way and really make it look wonky. Saturation is how much color is in those areas, right? So as I decrease the saturation, it actually becomes black and white. As I increase it, it becomes heavy color. And then lightness is how light the image is and how dark the image is, right? So as you can see, we can change it that way. In the adjustments area, I can obviously go to what we call brightness contrast. So sometimes we might find a photo that's not very contrasty. So I can play with that contrast, make it a little more rich, right? Add some contrast to it. And contrast is those lights and darks. And then lastly, some of the other things that we can do is if we go to Filter and we go to Filter Gallery, it's going to open the photograph up in this new menu. And this is going to allow us to do some crazy things. So if you click in these folders under Artistic, I could make this look like all these different kind of filters. Like check that one out. That makes it look like a fresco painting. This turns it into an illustrated cutout, so I can play with the amount of levels of color there are, decrease. Right, I can do all these different things. If we go down to brush strokes, we can make it look like a painting. If we go down to distort, can make it look like you're looking at it through glass. Sketch is kind of cool. This turns it into a black and white sketch, so graphic pen. And then on the right, I can obviously play with, you know, the coloring, halftone pattern, which is dots. A charcoal drawing. Some of them might look better than others. Make it look like stained glass or mosaic or grain, all those kinds of cool things. So there's tons of different filters in here that you can also adjust the photos with. So just one of the things is making sure that you have those photos obviously selected and then doing different things to bring some of those out. So what I would challenge you guys to do today is go through all of your images and play around with contrast, make some black and white, put a filter on a couple of them, and get used to just going up to that image adjustments, just so that you understand how to do adjustments to each photograph and to make things different, you know, different colors and stuff like that, different filters. And that's how we really manipulate images, is through that image adjustments. Sometimes this is important because we may need to use these to make two images match in terms of color or in terms of contrast. So just understanding that this is where we're going to do a lot of our editing and a lot of our manipulations is in that image adjustments area. Okay, so today, get your images in and spend some time just playing around with those adjustments and filters and getting those things kind of squared away. I would say try to, you know, make a couple black and white, make a couple have filters, leave a couple alone, but definitely go in and I would say edit about half of those photos in there to change them up a little bit and bring them out. All right, have fun. You guys are free. Let me know if you have questions.